Talk with Mo. Glad you could join me. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Check me out, the Lil Mo Podcast. CB Lifestyle and Apparel is the wear. You know, just another beautiful day. Just celebrated the 4th of July, Independence Day. Happy Independence Day, belated Independence Day to everybody. I want to talk about something. I was thinking about it, man, and the more I look around in the world, it's something that I would love to. I just love to figure stuff out. Try to, man, see what's going on, man, because there's always something behind it. We don't get to where we're at just by pure like circumstance, luck. It just things develop and turn into what they are. You know what I mean? So I was, because I was like, man, they talk about the more and more, and people are unhappy. Right, people are unhappy. All these different things are going on, and I look at it more, man. And it's kind of like I just think back to when I was younger, man. When I was a kid, the environment, the economy, the way people operated back in the day. And I don't want to sound like, I hate to sound like like I'm pretty sure in my generation, the people before me would say something similar, right? It would be like, like I'm in the 90s. I'm growing up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. They're probably in the 80s. I'd be like, oh, well, we had it this way, and it was so much better. And in the 70s, I'll be like, we had it this way, it's so much better type of thing, right? And I don't want to go down that path with it. Because I think, everybody's going to look back at their generation and just say how much easier or whatever it was, right? Sometimes. Unless, you're in the 30s and 40s when there was, the depression and all this other stuff, and food, short, all this other, it's probably a bunch of different ways. In America, it's like that because we just progressively get, better as a country, and we get like more, technology wise, and we just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. So, I can see how America would be a little different. But anyway, so I was just like, when I was a kid, man, it was just like, I'm just trying to think how to explain this without going off the rails. To look at, like, I'm thinking back, before we had, because I don't remember people talking about like credit and stuff, right? Credit wasn't a thing, right? People weren't building their credit. You couldn't just grab any type of credit card with any type of credit, right? Like, credit cards weren't being given out that frequently, right? Credit cards were like real exclusive stuff. So if you had one, you had enough credit to get one, and then you kind of used it, and if you didn't, take care of the bill, it would come back around. You know what I mean? Like, it was a real thing, like a real strict thing to have a credit card. Credit cards weren't so frequently given out like they are now. So credit is one thing I say that changed a lot. Just the practices of most of these banks and everything, especially with loans and stuff, like people getting houses. Like, houses were real rough to get too. Like, there was no like easy way to get a house, right? There was no all these different little things that they would give you. And I'm gonna circle this back to why I'm saying, like, why we so like sad or whatever they want to say. Which really I don't know who they're polling, but I'm guessing, whatever. I don't never met a pollster. I never got a poll, so I don't know. But I'm saying, so like, credit, the way they're giving out housing, loans, people have access to money all the time. Like, it's always these, access to money. That's another thing. Another thing is, I think, I ain't gonna lie, like back in the days, even being like hanging out in the streets and being in the streets, it was different because the people who had it really had it. There was no faking it for the most part, right? You didn't know everything about somebody, but you knew like somebody had it, right? Because they would go out and spend it, and you would see it, right? The way they lived, you would see all these things, and you knew somebody had it. Now, you never know, man. People, use social media, like I said. Then they use credit. Then they use like schemes and stuff, and now they just look, like they can look like they got it, or they still got it, or they just got it, you know what I mean? And that's why even these kids, man, like, these kids look like rappers, man, right? And they getting, they could be getting their mom's check, the mom is giving them their income tax check, and they just, then jewelry, like people buying jewelry, like jewelry used to be a thing too, like you couldn't go buy, people would just walk around with jewelry, right? You had to have some money to go be able to purchase something, gold or diamonds or something like that. So it was like, nah, it's so like loose, right? Anybody can go get a chain, buy a fake watch. And I think we thought, especially back in the days, to be honest with you, we thought all the access to everything was the problem. And we thought access to it was the problem, and if we could just get everybody access to it, we'd be happy, right? Because they'd be happy. But the thing is, like, the people who were pushing for that, they lost sight of what's really, like, important, right? Or it could be, that they just pushing that because that's just something that would help them, especially if it's elected officials, or if it's somebody pushing something similar to that. They figured that, I guess, it made people happy, or they were doing it for themselves. And it's like, I think, we got access to everything. Now we can get to anything, right? We can travel anywhere. Like, I don't even remember travel being as easy back in the days. And then again, we didn't have social media. So social media wasn't telling me about what everybody's doing every day, every other day, right? I wouldn't be able to talk to you on the phone about this. There used to be something that's going on behind the scenes. I wouldn't have access to it. So, and like I said, some access is good. I think, some of it is bad. I think, a lot of it is, I just think we got so much access to everything that we don't know how to maintain it. I think it'll all come back around, because I think, I think that people will start to realize that, that doesn't work, hopefully, right? If we have enough smart people in the world and running the country and all that, they'll understand, like, just having access to everything is not where it's at. Because sometimes it doesn't even work, right? The access that we have to stuff, it doesn't help at all, man. And it's like, and that's why I said, I look back and I'm like, man, like, was it really? And I'm like, yeah, it was different, man. There was different things going on, man. Like, and it's not because, I'm a 90s baby and I'm 2000 and this. Nah, we just had, it was different. Like, right now, credit is a thing, right? It wasn't a thing back in the day. It was a thing, but it wasn't like how it is now. You know what I mean? Like, you got all these people that can fix your credit, they can erase stuff off your credit, and then you can go get you a platinum card, or you can go get a black card, or you can get a Chase, whatever. You can get any card. All these major cards, you can get Slate. You can get any of these cards that are like, frequently used. American Airlines, whatever. Southwest card. You know what I mean? Like, you get any card you want, and then you get the cards, and then you live a life, right, or whatever. But it's mostly off the cards, right? It's your credit, right? You don't even have to have the income to back it. It's the same thing with houses, right? You could go get a house, you can get a mortgage that you can't really afford. You could just put it on paper that you can't afford it. You know what I mean? And I think that starts to cause unhappiness, right? Because, people have access to it, they're getting it, right? I mean, they can get all these things, but they can't afford them, and they didn't work for them. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't work for the down payment for 10%, right? I think that was a reason for that. I think there was a reason back in the days for having to put so much down to get a loan, right? To get a mortgage. I think those all had reasons, and they made people better, right? They made people to understand more and sacrifice more for stuff, man. And I don't think we have that. You know what I mean? Like, we got even these loan places, like even the one that's on the stock, like Affirm, or even on my website, I have like Afterpay, or there's a lot of them. I don't even know all the names of all of them. Klarna, I think, is one. Even those things, I think those contribute to it too, because, like I said, now you have access to everything. right? You don't have to work for it. You don't have to push hard for it. It just came to you, right? You got to pay it off, right? They go through all that, but it's like you don't have to have the money. You can play with it, fake with it for a minute. You know what I mean? Not even pay it probably, and your credit's gonna be bad. But then you can erase that, right? People erase stuff off their credit all the time, and it's like it's a game, and it's a bad game to be playing. Cause when it comes and goes, and you know what I mean. And then we got scams going on, credit cards, like, you know, like I said, cause back in the day, I remember, man, people who had it, man. Like, you saw it. They used the money, the cash they had, the money they had. You know what I mean? And they used it, and you could see it. Now everybody got it. Like I said, man, there's no, like, luxury cars are not even a thing anymore. I went to South Beach the other day. Like, luxury cars are not a thing. It used to be a thing. It used to be like, damn, have you seen this car? Like, I remember, man. I think it was back in the day. I don't know what year it was, but I remember like seeing like the four-door Bentley, right? And I seen it was like a football star in the Bentley, right? It wasn't no normal person, no regular guy. And I was like, man, that thing is crazy. Or you seen like the first Lambo. You see like Lambos in South Beach. It was like, there was only like a couple of them, right? Or there was like a few, you know, when it was superstar time. But regularly, you just didn't see them. It wasn't like one of those things. Now you see kids driving them, right? People getting rentals. It's nothing no more, right? Diamond chains and necklaces. Now, you know, they ain't even real diamonds sometimes. Now they moissanite, and they lab grown diamonds that are half the price, and they, you know, uh, plated gold, right? That's real. That, you know, probably won't fade in the water. I don't know. But it's stuff like that, man. And then, you know, we could buy. I don't remember back in the days, man. To be honest with you, if I'm wrong, somebody could prove me wrong. But like going to the store and seeing, you know, diamond necklaces. They're not real diamonds, but I'm saying, but like they have like necklaces that look like, you know, what rappers and shit are wearing at the corner store. And watches, right? That you could go buy that, put that on, and be flossy, right? And I don't remember it having being so much access to that. It wasn't as easy to go grab and get that type of stuff to fake it. Um, so you know what I mean? Like I said, cars is way different because cars, everybody got luxury cars now. That's not even a thing. If you ain't got no luxury car, then you really ain't got no car. Right? People ain't walking around driving Hondas and Toyotas no more, man. They going to get something off the lot, BMW, Mercedes, because they're accessible. They're easy to get to. All you gotta do is prove some credit, right? They'll sell you that shit. They'll sell you whatever you want. I mean, like I see all sorts. Like I see everything. But then you see watches, you see diamonds, you see people that supposedly $100,000 watches, right? But they not, you know, they not really $100,000 watches. But people floss. And you know, I was thinking like, damn, I grew up in the bling bling era. Like I remember, like, now to come to find out, you know, like Cash Money and them was, you know, was pump faking for a while. You know what I mean? They didn't have what they said they had, type of thing. But you know, but even then, like people I knew, you come, we weren't gonna buy no fake shit. We weren't finna go buy no fake Rolex. We were trying to buy the real one. We thought them boys had the real one, so we looking to buy the real one. Right? We looking to buy the real diamonds, the real chains. Right? Even though, you know, we know now they didn't, but we were looking to buy the real ones, right? We wasn't getting the fake ones so we could pump fake and walk around like it. Cause you know what I mean? And social media makes it so easy that you pop one of them chains on that people think you really got it. And I know, you know, the guys do it for the women do it for the other women. And it's like, and then you wonder why people ain't happy. Because we don't really have nothing. We didn't really work for it. We ain't sacrifice for it, right? We ain't, you know what I mean? We're not real with ourselves. So at nighttime, you can't go to sleep. Because you're not real. You've been faking the whole day, man. You can't be satisfied with your day because you phony. And that's why people can't sleep at night. People can't be, you know, who they really is, man. And it's different, man. That's all I can say, man. I'm not even gonna go down the route of it. It's not the people. It's just the way the world is going. But we're not teaching the what's to stand for, the morals, the values, right? We go along with anything as long as it makes a buck. And this goes for the people. I don't want to go on to the whole like corporations, all that shit. It goes to the people. You know what I mean? The people is the ones doing this. Like, we're following all these trends and this shit and going down these paths. And, you know, I just want to touch point on. I might talk about this again because it's a real situation. There's real shit going on. So check me out. CB Lifestyle Apparel is the wear. Doing more podcasts, real talk with Mo. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. CB Life every day is online. It's not fully up. And then I'm working on CB Life Wellness, which will be my supplements and protein and all that good stuff too. Because this is the lifestyle. Chasing billions, counting blessings, chasing billions. Get with the program. Check me out.